The average ancient human did not die at 30.
That number is real enough to appear in textbooks, documentaries, and conversations, where someone wants to prove that modern medicine has made 40 the new immortality. But it does not mean a healthy 30-year-old regularly reached the biological expiration date, looked around the camp, and quietly stopped working.
It means babies died, a great many of them.
Imagine 10 people born in the same ancient community. Several die in infancy or childhood.
One dies from an infected cut at 23. Another survives childbirth several times and reaches 50. Two others live into their 60s. One becomes the irritating 70-year-old who remembers every route,
Every argument, and exactly how much better people made tools before the younger generation became careless. Average all those deaths together, and the answer may land somewhere near 30.
No individual had to die at the average. The number is mathematically correct and emotionally misleading.
So at what age did most ancient humans actually die?
The uncomfortable answer is that death gathered at both ends of life. The most dangerous years were often the first ones.
Survive childhood, and the odds improved dramatically. Reach adulthood, and dying in your 30s was possible.
But it was not the normal biological schedule people imagined.
Among well-studied hunter-gatherer populations, the most common age of adult death has often fallen around the late 60s or early 70s. Ancient life was not short, because everyone became old at 30.
It was short, because becoming old was never guaranteed.
Let's go through it properly.
First, we need to separate three numbers that are constantly forced to wear the same name. Life expectancy at birth is the average number of years a newborn would live, if the mortality conditions of that population remained the same.
Lifespan is how long an individual actually lives, or sometimes the maximum age members of a species can reach. And the modal age at death is the age at which deaths are most concentrated.
The peak in the distribution. These numbers answer different questions.
If a population has severe infant mortality, life expectancy at birth can be low, even when adults regularly reach their 60s. If almost everyone survives childhood but dies around 75, the average and the mode move much closer together.
Modern societies have made death more concentrated at older ages.
Ancient societies spread it across the entire life course, with a brutal amount of it near the beginning. The average is not lying, it simply has terrible bedside manner. Take an extreme example. Two siblings are born.
One dies at age 2, the other reaches 70. Their average age at death is 36. Neither sibling dies at 36.
Now expand that across a whole community. Add stillbirths, newborn deaths, childhood infections, accidents, young adults lost to violence or childbirth, and older adults reaching 60 or 70. The final average can sit in the low 30s while describing almost nobody's actual experience. Research comparing several small-scale hunter-gatherer and horticultural populations has placed average life expectancy at birth. That is the source of the famous number.
The same research found something very different once childhood mortality was separated from adult mortality. Roughly 60% of newborns survived to age 15 across the populations examined.
And the modal age of adult death was about 72, varying approximately from the high 60s to the high 70s.
That does not prove every Paleolithic population followed the identical curve.
Modern hunter-gatherers are not prehistoric fossils wearing contemporary clothing.
They live in modern political systems, encounter markets, medicine, state violence,
Introduce disease, land loss, and environmental disruption.
Ancient groups lived in different climates with different technologies, pathogens, predators, and population densities.
but the comparison destroys the cartoon. Human bodies did not evolve to collapse at 30.
Our species carries a capacity for long adult life that predates hospitals, antibiotics, and retirement advertisements featuring extremely clean bicycles.
The real filter came first. Birth itself was dangerous. Human childbirth is unusually difficult because babies have large heads, and the fetal body must pass through a tightly constrained, curved birth canal. The old claim that this resulted simply from a trade-off between brain size and efficient walking has been revised and debated.
Human pelvic anatomy is affected by several evolutionary and biological pressures, including support of the pelvic floor, fetal growth, maternal metabolism, body form, and locomotion. The practical fact remains unchanged. Giving birth without surgery, blood transfusion, antibiotics, fetal monitoring, or emergency transport can become lethal very quickly. A baby can be positioned badly. Labor can become obstructed.
The mother can hemorrhage. The placenta can fail to separate normally. Tissue can tear.
Infection can develop after delivery. The child can be deprived of oxygen or born too early to regulate temperature and feed effectively. Ancient people had skilled birth attendants, practical knowledge, supportive relatives, positioning techniques, and treatments developed through experience.
They also lacked reliable ways to solve several emergencies that modern medicine now treats routinely. A birth could end with 2 deaths before either person had properly entered the demographic record. Then came the first month.
Newborns have immature immune systems, limited energy reserves, and very little ability to compensate when something goes wrong.
A mild infection in an adult can become overwhelming in a newborn.
Diarrhea removes water and electrolytes from a body that contains almost no spare capacity. Difficulty breastfeeding can become malnutrition and dehydration. Cold nights are more dangerous when a small body loses heat rapidly. Even naming an infant may have carried the emotional weight of uncertainty in some societies, though customs varied enormously.